Hi there and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining me for a second time today, some of you. Those of you who have joined on the Kylie Bertucci training blog hop, welcome. And for my regular viewers, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. I am making a really cute little card today using the Dressed to Impress stamp set. And I've buried them, there they are, the Best Dressed 3x3 note cards and envelopes. You get an amazing 24 cards, 24 envelopes. They are all printed and ready to go, so really easy to make quick cards with. Let me show you what I have made, and I'm using one of the cards and envelopes, obviously. Just trying to dig out the one I need. There we go. And the matching envelope is that. Now I have also used the stamp set and the dies, and dare I say I've also used the layering square dies, which are in the annual catalogue. They've been with us for quite a while. This was one of the first items I bought when I signed up. And you can see they make these really lovely little squares. You can obviously use them just as plain squares. So we've got the inside from the white one there. So they're great for matting and layering, and I just like them for the little frames. So let me show you what I have done. I'm going to start with a scrap of Whisper White and my embossing buddy, because I have embossed the perfume bottle, which is here. I love this perfume bottle. It's probably my favourite stamp. Oops, this is crooked. It's probably my favourite stamp from the set. I'm not a girly girl. I don't know if you've registered that, but I'm not a girly girl. That said, perfume, like a bit of perfume. Right, gold embossing powder in my little tub. And, ooh, got a bit of fluff. And as ever, I like to do 2 passes of the embossing powder. I do find that you get more embossing powder on that way. Otherwise, you can end up with some little gaps. So let me grab my trusty cheese board. My regular viewers will know exactly what I'm about to do with this. Those of you who are new, I use this cheese board mostly because it's convenient, but also it protects your work surface. Now I'm just using grid paper, but it does protect your work surface, and it also helps to keep the image flat. So because it absorbs the heat and then reflects it back, or gives it a warm base, I should say, it really works well. So let's go. You will notice I am not a wafter. I don't do this. I may leave it in one place, let it melt, watch the alchemy, which is just amazing. And there we go, and as you can see, it is basically still flat. If my heat tool would like to go back on its little hook, that would be lovely. So there we go, nicely embossed and ready to colour. I am using Petal Pink to colour. Petal Pink is one of the colours in the suite. As ever, I will use a blender pen and scribble first to make sure it's clean. I've got a little bit of ink in the lid of my Petal Pink. Now, the thing with using a blender pen on ordinary Whisper White cardstock, Whisper White cardstock is ordinary, it's gorgeous. You need to be careful not to use too much in one place, because it will pill the card. So I'm just picking up some ink and then dragging it across so that it fades out. The difficulty I'm going to have is this area is going to get quite laden with liquid, because there is liquid in the blender pen. So I'm going to try to only touch in there a little bit before coming up, but I do want this whole faded out look. Now, you could use blends if you want. The only problem with blends is they do tend to make the embossed area a little dull, so you'd need to reheat the embossing powder having done that. Scribble on my paper. I will need this again, but not just yet. And there is my lovely perfume bottle. I've got the die that goes with it. There are dies for all of the little icons, so the lipstick, the shoe, the flowers, and the perfume bottle. Some splodges. I like to use the word splodge so these will fill in your lipstick, your perfume bottle. You can use this sideways for your shoe, and then we've got little splodges for the flowers and some other little design elements, plus some really nice sentiments. And I have to say, I was not going to buy this stamp set and dies, but because it is actually quite a useful set, it's got some lovely sentiments. You don't have to go cutesy and girly with it. You can make more what I would call grown-up cards, which I'm hoping is what I'm doing today. So yes, I was taken with it. I'm going to stamp on the inside. I'm going to pop the sentiment on, and that again is going to be in Petal Pink, just to tie in with the front. And just pop that, and again it's Hello Fabulous, so nothing too cutesy, just a nice little sentiment. Don't need either of those stamps anymore. And all I need to do now is fold my card in half, grab my bone folder, and pop everything together. I have already die cut the frames, and I've used two. This time I used two of the scalloped dies. I used a straight cut on the gold previously, but I quite like the scallop look, so I went for two scalloped looks. And all I'm going to do is pop them down with a small amount of adhesive, and then we are good to go. Now, if you would like to see close-ups, if you would like to continue the hop, then if you go to my website, and that is linked in the description bar immediately below this video. If you're watching the video in full screen, you just need to come out of full screen, and then you'll find the description bar, and a link to my associated blog post will be there, and it will take you to the post for this project. None of this having to find the project for such and such a date. It will be this one. So I'm just going to pop that down there, and then same again on this one. And you want the smallest amount of glue. This glue goes a really long way and sticks really well. It takes a little while to grab the card, but that means you've got wiggle room. Just pop that at a slight angle as well. But yes, for me it's perfect because it does mean it's got that little bit of wiggle room, which means you have got the chance to correct any errors you might have. And I need those. So just some dimensionals on the back. And oops. And a couple of the small dimensionals, or you could just cut a large dimensional in half. But I have small ones, so I'm going to use them. And then pop this onto my card, and then we are very, very close to being done. And I am, I'd like to say I've only got N minutes to go, but I forgot to put the countdown on my camera screen, so I have no idea how long this video is at the moment. There we go, happy day. I'm actually going to go this way this time, I think. I don't really want the corner of the gold showing that much. Let's go up a bit. That's better. I didn't want the corner just peeking out. And then I've got one of the champagne rhinestones, or a little selection of them. I'm going to grab one of the medium-sized ones and just pop that in the corner. And that, whoops, that is me done. So there you go, two lovely little cards, grown-up cards, as opposed to, as I say, not really the cutesy that some of the cards are being shown in. And you've got amazing designer series paper, which, yes, on one side has the kind of what I would call the cutesy, but on the other side is all florals and stripes and really, really useful pack of designer series paper. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. If you haven't joined me before, please consider subscribing, which is in the bottom right hand corner. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you're in the UK and would like any of these products, I would be thrilled. If you would like to try out my customer service, and there is information about that below and over on my website. Thank you very much indeed, and I will hope to see you again very soon. Bye!